want you to relax. The judge has heard about the abuse. I'm very, very confident it'll be the minimum.
All rise. Circuit Court is now in session. Judge Armando Acosta presiding. You may be seated.
Miss Lang, the only reason that I'm not sentencing you on a murder conviction is because of this jury's finding that you acted under extreme emotional disturbance. But I am not swayed. There was no finding of self-defense. Had you felt threatened, there were other avenues. Instead, you bought a gun, clearly contemplating the act. Therefore, for the conviction of manslaughter in the first degree, I sentence you to the maximum, 20 years, without possibility of parole.
Judge, with all due respect, you are totally disregarding the abuse that was clearly evident in the verdict.
There is a message being sent here, Mr. Montriani, not only to your client, but to all criminals.
Well, my client is as much a victim as she is a defendant.
Sit down, Mr. Montriani.
Hear me out, Judge.
I said sit down, Mr. Montriani.
The verdict clearly shows that my
I'm
client
ordering you to be silent, Mr. Montriani.
What avenues of support are you
If you
talking
don't comply,
about?
I will cite you for contempt.
Well, just one more thing, Judge. When did you decide to trade your robes in for the guillotine? That's what I'd like to know.
Contempt of court? Officer, please put Mr. Montriani in a holding cell. This court is adjourned.
This is an outrage. Judge, what are you trying to prove with this sentence? Why don't you just take her to the town square and hang her? Why don't you give her the chair, Judge? She'd be better off. We're going to appeal this, Naomi. We're going to appeal this.
What? I didn't say a thing.
Thoughts are deafening.
Well, you were a little harsh.
On him or her?
Frankly, on both of them.
Tell Montriani to apologize. If he does, then I'll vacate the contempt order.
He may not go for that, Your Honor.
Then I'll have the bastard disbarred.
Well, that'll set things right.
Paul? Give me a minute. I can give you a week. I think we can work this out.
Madriani won't apologize. He says he'll serve his 7 days. He wants to make a point.
What point is that?
Hey, I'm just the messenger. He doesn't like to lose, like somebody else I know.
Would it kill you to apologize? The firm can't afford this.
What do you mean, the firm? We are the firm, Harry.
Yeah, and our reputation is preceding us. The lawyers who need lawyers.
Acosta gives her 20 years. You want me to apologize to him for that?
What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
You know Acosta's got a bug up his ass about you, and you make an easy target. Who's gonna handle the caseload while you're rotting in jail?
What caseload after this whole iris?
You keep this up, you're gonna wind up getting disbarred. You can't beat the system by shouting at it. The rent is due, Paul. Call him, tell him you're sorry. Mean it.
I can't.
Morning.
Oh, good morning, Catherine.
Anything important?
The usual suspects.
Well, you know what to do.
And King Klein wanted to see you as soon as you got in. He's got that devious look.
Have you seen this? Judge Acosta wasn't content with charges of corruption and vice, so now he's going after narcotics and the police union as well. Here's his subpoena list. 150 witnesses.
That ought to be a good read.
Well, the judge certainly seems to have it in for our boys in blue. What do you think of Armando?
I don't know, Coleman. We don't go to the same gym.
Well, there are rumors about him and prostitutes. I mean, women usually know if these things are true.
You're kidding me, right? Janice said this was important?
Well, it might be. Your brother's name's on the list.
Mr. Klein will see you now, Miss Hill.
Thanks.
How can you eat like this every day?
Are you kidding? Pizza has all the food groups, sis.
Garbage is not a food group, Tony. So what's this grand jury business all about?
It's Judge Acosta. He's got it in for the cops.
And why do they want you to testify?
They're looking for someone to roll over on good cops. You get one little hiccup on your record, they try to use it to make you rat. While Acosta screws with us, he'll get his ass kicked up around his ears.
Do you have a hiccup on your record, Tony?
No. Jeez. Finish your rabbit food. I gotta go on duty.
This is Judge Acosta's hit list. I want to talk to every vice cop who's on it. You have to wonder why a Mexican judge wants to take down the entire police department. I mean, don't we all eat tacos? I want to see Tony Rossetti first. I like him, but he's a little overeager. I like his sister better. You think I'm her type?
Sure, Lieutenant. You're everybody's type. Tony's okay, Gus. He's on board.
So he says. We'll see.
Hi.
Brittany, honey, come in. How'd it go with Klein?
Oh, well, I don't think he cared that I was a police science major, but your recommendation sure meant a lot. I think I got the job.
Let's go out to Orchard Beach, eat Italian. I know a perfect place. Celebrate your success.
No fraternization between employees, Lieutenant.
Is that the way you show your appreciation?
Gus, you know how much I appreciate you, don't you?
Show me.
That's right. Take it off, baby. Come here. On the floor, hands over your head. Move, move, move.
What the hell are you doing?
I am a reserve deputy sheriff. Klein gave me the job.
You met with Klein?
I told you. Gus set it up.
Thought you weren't seeing Gus anymore.
I'm not seeing him, Tony. It's business. Aren't you happy for me? Honey, everything that you taught me about police work was right there when I was talking to Gus. I know it helped. I told him what a good cop you are.
Yeah? You said that to Gus?
Mm-hmm. You are good. Hey, are you hungry? Do you want me to make you some pasta?
Hey, did Gus say anything to you about the grand jury investigation?
See ya.
Sorry I'm late. I had to pawn my mother's wedding ring to pay the rent.
Yeah, at Baltimore Park, give me a $10 exact on the 2 and the 3 in the 8th race. Yeah.
Okay?
It's Paul. All right. Give me a 20 on the 3 and a 5 on the late double. And 20 on the 4 and the second across the board.
Who are you going across the board with?
Top two at Hanover.
By the way, did you apologize to Acosta yet?
Why? I did my time.
For me. For us. We can actually make a living in the law. Perish the thought.
Tell you what, Harry, why don't you apologize for me? Sing a different song, would you?
Hello, Jamie.
Miss Rossetti.
Is Harry here?
Let me ask him if he's in. Harry, Miss Rossetti to see you.
Yeah, send her in.
Just around the corner.
It's nice to see you.
You too.
I don't want my brother to testify before the grand jury. It worries me. I want you to get a protective order from Acosta. As the deputy state's attorney, you know I can't intervene.
Why does it worry you?
Well, it's Tony. He's a good kid and a good cop, but he's got a smart mouth.
I guess it runs in the family.
This is serious, Harry. We're talking about vice cops. These guys can be pretty scary, and I know he likes to hang with them, but if they go down, I don't want him to go down with them.
Harry.
Yeah?
Harry, I cannot find the Peterson pleadings. Do you have the file?
Hello, Paul.
Hey.
Nice to see you, too.
Catherine's here to ask for our help. You know, legal help, work, income, remember?
The last time I saw you was at the,
The Crowell case.
Yeah, well, I've been doing everything I can to forget that one.
Should have been prepared.
Oh, is that how you see it? See, I thought you won because the judge had a crush on you.
You would.
Anyway, as I was saying...
How are things?
Good. We get by.
Getting by doesn't sound too good. How was jail?
Not good. Probably a little like working for Coleman Klein.
Her brother Tony has been subpoenaed to testify at the grand jury.
I want Harry to get a protective order from Acosta.
I'm the one who needs a protective order from Acosta.
I'll handle it, Catherine.
Harry, I appreciate it. Thank you. Nice to see you again.
Always a pleasure.
Stay out of trouble, huh? You're getting a reputation.
Well, if I need a lawyer, I know who to call.
Is it a little chilly in here?
Make sure you charge her extra for aggravation.
It's good to see you. Harry Hobbs.
Your Honor?
Is this official? Because I have a lunch engagement.
It's about Tony Rossetti.
Catherine Rossetti doesn't want him to testify.
Could we sit down, Your Honor? Your own booth. I'm impressed.
Is Paul back to work?
More or less.
Somebody should put a muzzle on that guy. Tell me something. Are he and Catherine an item?
They used to be.
Who left who?
She left him, sir.
Tell Catherine there'll be no deals.
The grand jury doesn't need Tony to make their indictments. We want a protective order.
Why should I, Harry?
Tony's bucking for a spot in Vice. If he testifies, he'll probably perjure himself. If he doesn't, he'll have to answer to Gus Lano. Why sacrifice Tony?
Because the Vice Squad shouldn't be run like a mafia, that's why.
Hey, Peter, how are you?
Your Honor, so good to see you.
Good to see you.
Harry Hobbs, he's on his way out.
Harry?
One of the great law clerks. Now he can teach you some lessons in law. Sit down.
Tony is innocent, Your Honor. And you're wasting your time. He doesn't know anything.
Then how could he perjure himself? It's a pity, Harry. Catherine's a beautiful woman. She has a Neanderthal for a brother. He should be neutered. Tell her this. I'll make sure he gets immunity. But if he lies trying to protect Gus Lano, they'll be sharing the same cell.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, how's the law practice?
Not bad when the client actually pays. Something weird going down, Your Honor. My last 3 clients have been drug dealers. Sorry, alleged drug dealers. The thing is, the police reports don't always match what ends up in evidence. I'm not accusing cops. I mean, maybe a police property room just keeps lousy records. Maybe not. But you're the only person I feel safe telling. I know you're on top of this corruption thing.
Your Honor, Gus Lano's here. Come on in.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I hope you don't mind me barging in like this. I was in the neighborhood.
Sit down, Gus. Dominican cigar?
No, thanks. I don't smoke. I'm a little concerned, Your Honor, that this grand jury investigation is going to turn into a witch hunt.
No one believes in witches, do they?
No, but you know what I mean. The Vice Squad's had an impressive record over the past couple of years. Major crime reduction in all areas. Even street prostitution. Now, it'd be a shame to let a bunch of bored housewives on the grand jury destroy all that. And Vice won't be the only ones under the microscope. Who knows what names will be named, Your Honor?
Tell you what, Gus. You don't interfere with the grand jury, and I won't have you arrested for threatening a circuit court judge.
Thanks for indulging me.
Nothing was stolen. There were no fingerprints, no witnesses. It must have been a hit. Maybe it was payback for a drug case that Peter lost.
No. For cases he won. Peter had a problem expressing his gratitude to officers of the law.
I don't think a judge should voice an opinion like that, Your Honor.
See my glasses?
No. Judge Acosta's chambers. Yes, he's here. Who's calling? Yeah, hold, please. Do you know Brittany Hill?
Right on time. Please come in.
In your phone call, you mentioned that you had information about Peter Jacoby's death.
That's right.
Why did you call me?
Because I don't like crooked cops. And I heard you don't either. Make us a drink, Armando.
This on. You never had any information on Peter Jacoby's death, did you?
You're under arrest for solicitation of a prostitute. Cuff him!
Bad boy, Armando.
You have the right to remain silent. Any statement you give can and will be used against you in a court of law.
I've never been a witness before.
Well, you'd better get used to it. Before you hit the panic button, did you say the code phrase to signal Sergeant Frost to come into the room?
I didn't have a chance. He was all over me.
Judge Acosta was all over you?
Yeah, like a bull in heat.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the code phrase?
It's a cold night.
What is Miss Hill doing in here?
Just filling in some gaps in this arrest report. Seems to
I
me
left
that...
specific instructions. She was to be questioned by me. Now, this may be the way that you operated under Bronstein, but we do things a little differently now.
What difference does it make who questions her?
The sitting judge has been accused of a crime, Miss Rossetti. It's an extremely serious matter. And the press is, well, they're demanding answers.
You can't talk to the press. The local bench will be on us like locusts if we feed one of their own to the media.
The file, please. Miss Hill, this way, please.
It's politics. Klein wants to run for office next fall, so he's looking for a high-profile conviction to help him boost his run for the Senate. This lettuce must be 2 weeks old.
Priceway is not really known for its salad.
So what's this all about?
I want your take on the Acosta arrest and how it affects the grand jury investigation.
And your brother, right?
The undercover cop who set up the judge was Brittany Hill, Gus Lano's latest centerfold. Her account of what happened was pretty, well, let's just say I didn't buy it. But she was wearing a wire. Now there's some concern that the wire might have malfunctioned.
What was the sting Lano's idea?
Yeah, but Klein approved it.
Maybe Lano convinced him. If Acosta gets kicked off the bench for this, the grand jury could be disbanded. Vice would be off the hook. Everybody knows Acosta's the one driving this thing.
And if Costa didn't incriminate himself at the Fairmount, Lano has to say the wire malfunctioned.
And rely on Brittany, who lies. Well, that makes sense. So did you really call Acosta a merciless bastard in open court?
No. No, he merely suggested he was an executioner, among other things.
Oh, well, I was worried there for a minute. Oh, God, I gotta go. I gotta be at Orchard Beach at 2:30. Getting a set of sails delivered.
Sails? What, like for a boat?
Yeah.
You have a sailboat?
Yeah, a 35-foot sloop. You gotta come and see it sometime. Put you to work, honest work, with a mop and bucket.
Don't worry, I got the check.
Thanks.
Guess she's doing pretty well, huh?
I'd say so.
I don't want to stay overnight at Nana's.
Look, I'll be back before you can say rubber baby buggy bumpers. You can bring Binky to keep you company, okay? And don't forget your videos because I told Nana no regular TV.
I got him, Brittany.
What's with this Brittany business? And when did you stop calling me Mommy?
Hey, Kimmy.
Hi, Tony.
I left you a bunch of messages. Why didn't you call me back?
I've been busy.
Oh, yeah, I saw it all on TV.
Look, I gotta go.
Where? To church?
Go to hell.
Wait a minute. I need to talk to you.
And I need to bring Kimmy to my mother's.
She spends more time with your mother than with you.
Don't tell me how to raise my daughter. Goodbye. Sorry. You ready?
1972 Gremlin. You don't see many of those around, Leo. It's almost a classic.
What do you mean almost? That is a classic. It costed me a fortune to keep that car on the road.
Tony Rossetti.
Officer Numbnuts, what's to know?
Why is his name on the grand jury subpoena list?
Okay, 6 months ago, a cop named Zach Wiley was killed in a crack house raid. They made some 19-year-old crackhead for Wiley's murder. The kid denied it. He said the gun wasn't his. He said one of the cops dropped the piece on him after the deed was done.
Well, what's Rossetti's involvement?
You see, it was your friend Tony that came up with the gun. He confiscated that piece down at some drug bust at Sparrow's Point. I was the investigator on that. The naughty boy, your friend Tony.
Grand jury is just a bunch of bored housewives, and Acosta's little tea party is going down.
Is that what Gus Lano told you?
Gus never said a word to me about it.
My advice to you is don't hang around with Gus Lano. Slime rubs off.
Hey, Gus is okay? People resent him because he gets the job done. He's been very good to cops and to me.
Who killed Sergeant Zach Wiley? I talked to the crackhead doing time for it. He was framed. It's pretty obvious. You were there that night, right? So you're a witness. Maybe you did it.
That's garbage.
You think the grand jury's gonna want to know where that gun came from?
I had nothing to do with Zach Wiley's murder. Check the records. Maybe you two should stick to slip and falls. More your speed.
Armando, what's the matter?
The commission recommended that I temporarily suspend my duties. That's it for the grand jury. Lily.
This is a character assassination. We cannot just stand by and allow it to happen.
Gus Lano has something he's desperately trying to hide. I'm gonna find out what it is.
Hey, James.
Oh, Catherine.
You can't go in there, ma'am.
Yeah, I can't go in here. This is my office.
Ma'am.
Excuse me. What the hell do you think you're doing?
I want the rest of your notes on the solicitation charges.
I gave them to you. They're in the file.
I don't believe you. Officer, would you please remove this person?
Get your hands off me. Give me my briefcase.
This may be your briefcase, but these are my files. Officer, please.
What is it about you that always smells like raw sewage?
Harry.
No, it's me.
Catherine?
Can I talk to you?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I just got fired. Can you believe it? Klein just fired me. I just need to talk, or I swear I'll get my .45 and shoot him.
Come on over.
Thanks.
But why did he hit me? I didn't do anything.
Because he likes you. That's just the way boys are. There's no explaining it.
If it's Jason, hit him for me.
Oh, okay. Hey, Kimmy, honey, why don't you go play in your room for a little bit?
Okay, Brittany.
Hi, come on in.
Turns out Brittany's wire didn't work. Unless, of course, someone accidentally lost the tape.
And now Klein needs more evidence?
He offered Acosta a reduced charge if he'd resign. Acosta told him where he could stuff the offer. Sort of makes me pull for the judge.
What's Acosta saying?
That Brittany offered him information that could help burn the cops.
Why would Brittany go to the judge instead of directly to the state's attorney?
I know. That's what I was wondering. I need another drink. Come on, join me.
Yeah.
You used to love a good scotch.
Used to. You know, you ought to join the other side. You'd be great on defense.
I don't know. I like to lock up the bad guys.
Geez, I always thought it was about saving the good guys. Anyway, if you change your mind, we have an empty office. You can use it until you get set up on your own, which shouldn't take long with your connections.
Thanks. I'll remember that. I just can't believe that tight ass actually had the nerve to fire me. I've never been fired.
I had 7 jobs in 2 years before law school. I got fired from every single one of them.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
Since when do you have a gun?
Since I was 10, when my dad taught me how to shoot. I have a .45 and 2 16-gauge shotguns.
Did you ever play with dolls or you just shoot and sail?
It's funny how little you know about me. Considering.
Considering what?
considering how much time we spent together.
I know you grew up in Maine, that your mom died when you were 6, that you wanted to be a writer, that your favorite poet is Robert Frost, and that you can recite the first 3 lines of every Beatles song ever recorded. I just didn't know you shot guns and sailed boats.
Oh.
Come on, man, get out of here. This is my spot. Get out. Come on. Oh!
Where's Tony?
Back there.
It's okay, he's fine.
Thanks for coming, Kat.
Who found the body?
Some bum who lives in a dumpster. He flagged down a squad car. I mean, this is unbelievable.
How did she die?
I don't know. I saw marks on her neck. She was rolled up in a blanket, wearing a t-shirt and underwear. Her head was wrapped up in a bloody towel. Look, can I talk to you alone?
Yeah. Let me know if Klein shows up.
Why would he?
He just lost a star witness. Turn on Blanchard. Something I want to see.
What's going on? What are you doing? This is Brittany's apartment. Are you crazy? In 2 minutes, the cops are gonna be swarming all over this place.
Look at this. I think it's some jewelry.
Don't touch anything. Come on, we gotta get out of here.
You go. I'm gonna check out the kitchen.
What are you doing? stupid that was?
Tony thought Brittany might have been killed in her apartment.
Did he send you to check it out?
No, but I want to take a look before the cops skew the evidence.
Since when did you decide to line up against the cops?
I'm not sure I have. Why would Brittany want to be meeting with the man that she was about to testify against in a criminal case?
What are you talking about?
On her calendar. She had an appointment scheduled with Acosta for 4:30 this afternoon.
Miss Hill was the decoy in a vice sting several days ago against Judge Armando Acosta. Her body was just discovered hours ago in this downtown alley. Apparently, a homeless man was sitting down for the night in a nearby dumpster when he came across her body. Police have no suspects at this time, but say they will release an official statement once they've processed the crime scene.
Did you hear about Acosta? We just heard.
Listen, Paul, I want to take you up on your offer to use your office, temporarily, until I get myself set up.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Hey, mi casa, su casa.
That's great, because actually I brought in a new client.
Really?
Yeah, it's a high-profile case.
Really?
He's in the conference room. He'd love to talk with you.
She works fast, huh? Let's go get him.
Okay, keep an open mind.
What do you mean?
Well, I didn't think you'd show up.
This is a joke, right?
No.
Lily, this is Mr. Paul Madriani. My relationship with Mr. Madriani hasn't been too cordial. I would like you, Catherine, and Harry to represent me.
What is this, a conspiracy? Why didn't you tell me?
Because your default setting is no.
It still is.
Just listen to what the judge has to say.
That's the Madriani passion I need in my defense. Miss Rossetti, having worked closely with the opposition, brings a valuable insight to the case. The police have confiscated my car and they've searched my home. They're coming for me, and I need representation.
Look, no, I can't do this. I have to decline the offer. He went to the bar to revoke my license.
I never notified the bar. Perhaps I divined this moment of need. Listen to me. This is the biggest case of police corruption in the city's history. You're one of the only lawyers I know that'd be willing, even eager, to take on the police department. Now, I know you don't like me. I can understand that. I'm not too crazy about you. But you go pro bono to pro bono. This is the kind of case that could make you the lawyer you could be. The lawyer you're afraid of being.
Well, that's because you're too busy throwing me in jail for contempt, Judge.
That's enough. You know why you're gonna handle this case?
Why?
Because you know I'm innocent.
And because we need the money.
All right. $100,000 retainer. $400 an hour in court, $350 out of court. How's that sound, Judge? I know, wait a minute.
Armando Acosta, you're under arrest for the murder of Brittany Hill. You have the right to remain silent. You say may be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Do you understand these rights as I've read them to you? Or should I get you a Mexican interpreter?
You're lucky I'm handcuffed.
Mrs. Acosta?
Excuse me.
Come on in. Have a seat.
Thanks.
What can I do for you?
I want you to defend my husband.
I'm not sure I can do that, Mrs. Acosta. See, Your husband and I are like two...
Look, you're not gonna like this. But you and Armando are more alike than you think.
alike. I don't think so.
You're both headstrong, and both of you have such a sense of right and wrong.
It's not the point.
But it is. This is about justice. Armando is innocent, and you know that. The police want to get rid of him, want to put him in his place. But his place is on the bench, and you can guarantee that he stays there.
The man deserves the defense.
Oh, wait a minute. How do you know for sure that Acosta isn't lying? He had the motive, and he has no alibi.
So what? The burden of the prosecution is to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of a crime. The defender makes sure the prosecution meets that burden.
Courts don't guard the truth. Lawyers do.
Well, anyway, Lily brought this with her when she came to see me.
Thing of beauty.
I guess we're doing this.
I guess so.
I sure hope this son of a bitch is innocent.
Great shot, Tony. The Wizards could use you, no kidding. Oh, I hear the grand jury's shutting down now that Acosta's out of the way. They tell me you know all about boats.
I spent half my life on it.
Well, there's cocaine coming into the city at the Orchard Beach Marina. We could use an undercover guy down there, you know, someone who fits in like you.
Well, ain't that narcotics beat?
They're short-handed. They asked us. You could get assigned to Vice, Tony. Permanently. Good.
Mr. Madriani, this is a capital case. Judge Acosta had already been indicted for sexual solicitation with the victim, providing a very strong motive for murder. He's a flight risk. I'll fight any motion for bail.
Acosta isn't going anywhere. He's innocent of both charges.
Really? Well, he was most uncooperative with the police. He refused to say where he was the night of the murder. Where was he?
You don't really think we're going to tell you his alibi, do you?
Well, you would if it were ironclad, so at least I know it isn't.
Well, tell us the time of murder, Mr. Klein, and we'll remove all doubt.
Well, for the moment, we're able to fix that only within broad parameters.
For a man in your position, I would have thought admitting to broad parameters would be abhorrent.
You know, I thought you only defended the hungry, the poor, the disadvantaged, Mr. Medriani. How did you get sucked into Rossetti's nasty little vendetta?
Why did you take such a high-profile case without the evidence you need to convict?
And what is it you think I need? I mean, if you have any physical evidence, it's your duty under reciprocal discovery to disclose it.
Like what, for instance?
Like I don't know. Like you tell me.
Well, I think we should get going. Coleman, thank you for being so helpful.
I've told you nothing.
Really? We know that the time of murder is in question. We know that you're missing vital evidence. But more importantly, it's clear that you think this case is only about murder. Well, let me remind you, Armando Acosta is the Chief Circuit Court judge, an honored Hispanic with a superlative record. And you want to be a senator. Everybody's going to be watching you, Coleman. If you screw this up, you'll never get to Washington. Nice to see you again.
Animal hair of some kind was found in Brittany's apartment, also in the blanket she was wrapped in.
Guess we better find out what kind.
Maybe it was a full moon. Acosta was shedding.
What else?
Carpet fibers on the blanket. No doubt King Klein will try to tie that to the trunk of Acosta's car. And the cops found a pair of broken eyeglasses near Brittany's coffee table.
Acosta wears glasses.
What's the coroner's report say?
Death as a result of blunt object trauma, probably getting her head bashed against the coffee table. They also found trace amounts of gold on the edges of the coffee table, maybe scraped off of jewelry worn by the killer.
Did they find any jewelry?
If they did, it's not in the report. Oh, and a neighbor, Mrs. Frug, heard a moan or a scream about 7. That may fix the time of death. Now, the question is, why would the killer leave the apartment looking like a snuff movie and then wipe it clean of fingerprints and then dump the corpse in the trash? Makes no sense. The good news is we may have a witness.
What?
Brittany's daughter, Kimberly. She was hiding in the hall closet the whole night. She might have seen something.
Hey, don't forget to check out that neighbor.
Mrs. Frug. Great. Bye.
See ya.
Bye, Harry.
Do you think Kimberly saw us?
I have no idea. But you can be sure that Klein will put her on the stand.
She's only 6. It was dark.
Why didn't the cops find any gold jewelry in that dirt?
That's a good question.
I got a better question. What were we doing there that night? Hey, look, we're working together now, so if you've got some information you need to tell me, tell me.
How are they treating you?
Well, orange is not my color. You hoping I learn the quality of mercy in here, counselor?
We can always hope.
Well, the quality of mercy is not as strained. It just droppeth as a gentle rain from heaven upon this earth below. The Merchant of Venice. They have me under a suicide watch. It's hard to sleep when someone's looking at you all the time. What's going on with my bail?
It was denied. The presiding judge refused to hear the order. The bad news? The entire municipal and superior court bench recused themselves from hearing the case. They're looking outside the county for a judge.
They've all abandoned ship, Judge.
I was never on board. I'm Mexican, the wrong culture, and I'm moderate, the wrong political stripe. What else is new?
Forensics found animal hair in the apartment and on the blanket that Brittany was wrapped in. She and the little girl didn't have pets.
Neither do I.
Your Honor, you wear glasses, don't you?
Yes, the guards took them. Afraid I might slip my wrists.
Have you lost a pair recently?
Not that I know of. Why?
How many pair do you own?
4. What's this all about?
Cops found glasses in the apartment.
They're not mine.
Is there any way the Klein will be able to link them to you?
The cops can do anything they want. They have a pair of my glasses. They could switch them with the ones they found at the scene. What? You don't believe they'd do that?
It's a stretch.
Then you don't know Gus Lano. But you better make sure that the jury does know about Gus Lano.
Without evidence connecting him to the murder? You'd never let it in.
Well, you find a way of getting it in. They killed Peter Jacoby. He knew the cops had a connection. A way of finding out when cocaine comes into this city. This rot goes all the way to the top. What do you think I'm doing in here? They're afraid. They're afraid that I'll find out something. I want a gag order on this case right away.
Judge, I think you're forgetting you're not the judge here.
I pay you a lot of money, both of you, to try this case in a court of law, not on the evening news. You do it now.
There's not much love lost between you guys.
Paul, good to see you back in the trenches. Miss Rossetti, always a pleasure. Sorry to hear about your untimely dismissal from the state attorney's office. Undeserved, I'm sure. Surprised you jumped on Acosta's sinking ship, though. How goes it?
We'll probably be seeing you in court.
Hard to believe the judge would murder a pretty girl like that, huh?
It's not as hard to believe that you'd set him up.
Don't make accusations you can't support, Miss Rossetti. Oh, I almost forgot. The carpet fibers found in the blanket Brittany was wrapped in. They're a perfect match for the fuzz found in Acosta's trunk. Want my advice? Cop a plea. Don't take this to trial. It could get ugly. Have a nice day, kids.
Which boat is yours?
It's a sloop.
What's a sloop?
One mast. It was my dad's.
Wow.
I'll take you out sometime. I never took you out on her, huh?
No, I'm not too good at relaxing on boats.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. What do you mean?
Are you still angry with me?
Look, Katie, I've been through a bad marriage, and so have you. I think we've moved on.
Have we?
Who are you asking?
Can you not be cynical for once?
Where's this going?
I don't know. That's pretty funny.
Paul. What is the point of this hearing?
Klein wants the solicitation charge tried separately. See, he wants to poison the jury pool, but I want to use that information to tie in the police corruption case. Now, this hearing will determine if the state has enough information to proceed, which it doesn't. You okay?
All rise. Circuit Court now in session. Judge Harlan Radovich presiding.
What do we know about this guy? Columbia Law 1949, summa cum laude, solid common sense jurist.
You may be seated.
Rumor has it he brews the best corn liquor in Cumberland.
Defense request for a gag order is denied. Defendant is a public official, elected by the people. People should hear his due process. Now, I was most edified by prosecution's lengthy motion. Frankly, I had far better things to do. Even way out in Allegheny County, we have faced the thorny issue of separate trials and invasions of prosecutorial discretion. But the evidence decided. That's why we're here.
So you were outside the hotel room door on the earphones when the electronic wire malfunctioned, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you were still able to hear?
Yes, I heard through the door.
And what did the defendant say?
He said, I'll give you $200 for a half and half.
For the edification of this court, Sergeant Frost, would you please explain that particular term of art?
Oral copulation and sexual intercourse, Your Honor.
Thank you for illuminating us. Continue, Mr. Klein.
Thank you. So it was the defendant who first mentioned sex?
Yes, absolutely.
Your witness.
In these days of gigabytes and Mars landings, it's hard to believe that the technology for listening devices isn't perfected.
Oh, it is. But sometimes they get wet.
Was it raining in the room?
She was probably sweating.
Well, was she sweating? I thought the first half of half and half hadn't begun yet.
I wasn't inside the lady's bra.
No, of course not. You were outside the door, listening to the defendant ask for half and half. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Outside the door that the Armored Door Company designed specifically for hotels because they're impervious to sound. They're steel sheathed and filled with 1.5 inches of foam insulation. But you were still able to hear through the door.
Yes, ma'am. I heard.
You must have extraordinary hearing. Now, Sergeant, tell us about the panic button, the signal of last resort.
The usual procedure in wearing a wire, if there's trouble, is to give a signal phrase or word, something agreed on. If for some reason that doesn't work, then there is the panic button. In this case, it was hidden by the bedside lamp.
And the signal phrase for that night was what?
I don't recall.
You don't recall? It's a cold night. Could that have been it?
Yes, that was it.
And in an operation like this, Miss Hill would know to use the signal phrase first before hitting the panic button, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Now, Sergeant, did you hear Miss Hill say the signal phrase?
No, but what I mean is...
But you didn't enter until she hit the panic button, which means she had said the signal phrase. Isn't that right?
Yes, but I mean...
And if you didn't hear the signal phrase, how could you have heard anything else said in the room?
Well, maybe she hit the panic button first.
And maybe you had X-ray eyes and could see through the door.
Stick to the point, Miss Rossetti. We are not here to be entertained.
You said the defendant offered Miss Hill $200 for sex.
That's right.
Is this the inventory sheet of Acosta's belongings that you filled out the night of the arrest?
Yes, it is.
How much money did he have in his pocket? Item 12, read it.
$42 and change.
$42. Which means he was about $158 short. Was Miss Hill instructed to accept credit cards or perhaps personal checks? Wasn't it true that no money was paid because no request for sex was made? And that you didn't hear a word they said, which is why you didn't enter the room until she hit the panic button? Before your trial, you and Klein might want to tighten this up. No further questions, Your Honor.
You're dismissed, Sergeant Frost.
How did you know what the signal phrase was?
I got it from Brittany. It's okay.
Sergeant Frost, when you wrote out the arrest report, did it occur to you to write in enough money to cover the girl? Or was that too hard for you?
I didn't think, Gus.
It's a real problem, Sergeant. Maybe you need more time to think, like a desk job or unemployment.
Why don't you come work with me, Leo?
You can't afford me, Sonny, pro bono.
Give me your hand. Now I want the resume of Brittany Hill.
Brittany Hill? She smiled at me once. Got the old juices going. I know she slept with Gus Lano. Probably the starting linebackers for the Ravens. She was a true fan.
Gus Lano, huh? Could Gus Lano have done this?
That's pretty brutal. Who knows? You know, maybe he got jealous of her bed hopping and wasted her. It would be easy for Vice to skew the evidence against Acosta.
You tell me how Lano gets away with it.
Well, he worked his way up from the streets. He was a model cop. When he took over Vice, he eliminated all the drug traffic in Rosedale. You know, if he got a little rough, City Hall looked the other way. Way back when, he was good. Now he's garbage. Now, who do we got for suspects now? We got Rossetti, Gus Lanos, Acosta.
We assume Acosta is innocent.
No, you assume. To me, everybody's guilty. Don't worry, I'll find him. Hey, pay for that, will ya? I got work to do.
Oh, my feet are killing me. I've got blisters.
Where you been?
At a fundraiser. On a date with this guy. Remember dates?
Dates. Sure, I remember that. Love to date. Wow. It's a really nice pad.
Thanks. Sit down. I gotta get a Band-Aid. What's up that you needed to see me so suddenly?
Lily rides horses. That's what the animal hair was.
Client's gonna say that Acosta had it on his clothing and then transferred it to the blanket that he wrapped Brittany in.
That's right. It's just another little detail Acosta didn't tell us.
Want a drink?
I don't drink, remember?
Right.
Cute.
You didn't come here in the middle of the night just to talk about horsehair.
Forensics found a print on Brittany's back door handle. It's the only print in the apartment. Did you use a handkerchief when you shut the door that night?
I'm not sure.
Mr. Klein, this is your show.
Thank you. We have a conflict of interest here, Your Honor. While Miss Rossetti was still in my office, she interviewed Brittany Hill about the sting operation against Acosta.
We're all aware of that, Counselor.
And having represented adverse interest in that case, she was privy to sensitive information and should therefore be disqualified in this case.
Sensitive information? Your Honor, this is preposterous.
What's your tone, Miss Rossetti?
I will not waive time, Your Honor. I demand a speedy trial.
He's got a point, Mr. Klein. You are threatening a lengthy delay.
Not at all, Your Honor. The defendant is ably represented by 2 other lawyers.
Your Honor, you cannot dismiss Miss Rossetti on the very eve of the trial. She's the most important member of our team.
Your Honor, he's known about this from the beginning. He's obviously timed his complaint to inflict the worst possible damage. I assure you, I've learned nothing from Miss Hill that could in any way compromise this case.
That's not so. It wasn't until the joinder hearing when Miss Rossetti mentioned the signal phrase that I realized how deeply compromised we were. Her knowledge places the people at a disadvantage, Your Honor.
The only disadvantage people are suffering is having a slime for a prostitute.
That's enough, Miss Rossetti. Damn it. This isn't my desk. Judge Warren's gonna have my ass.
Judge Radovich, the rights of the defendant take precedence over the state's spurious request for delay. It's very clear.
What ought to be clear, Judge Acosta, is that we are in my chambers, not yours. I give the rulings, not you. You understand that?
Yes.
I can't go along with your request, Mr. Klein. You waited too long.
I see. Could I have a moment, Your Honor?
I'll give you 10 seconds. I'll tell him something fell on it.
The crime lab found a fingerprint on the door handle of Miss Hill's apartment. We've just discovered that this fingerprint belongs to Miss Rossetti. No other print was found in the apartment. I, for one, would like to know what she was doing there that night, Miss Rossetti.
Does that print have a time and a date, Mr. Klein?
Well, is it probable that the killer would meticulously wipe the place clean and miss a print on the door handle? No. It had to be left there after the murder. Did you find anything at all interesting in the apartment, Miss Rossetti?
Don't answer that.
Well, she's going to have to answer it because I'm going to call her as a witness. And the law regarding witnesses is quite clear. You cannot represent a party in a case in which you may be called to testify.
He's got you on that one, Miss Rossetti. I'm afraid you'll have to step aside. Are you satisfied with your representation, Judge Acosta?
Yes.
Good. It's in your hands, Mr. Madriani. Mr. Hobbs.
Try a little shoe polish on that couch, Your Honor. It'll disappear completely.
I heard what happened. They're showing the news conference now.
Huh. He works fast.
Why didn't you tell me Catherine was in that apartment? A little detail I didn't need to know?
Let's watch this.
I'm sorry, Harry.
You realize because Klein put you on the witness list, you're not even allowed in the courtroom now?
I know.
If she gets called to testify, Klein's gonna ask her if she went to that apartment alone. Did she go to the apartment alone? Yeah, don't answer that. Why should I know? He's gonna find out, you know?
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
Did you take anything from the apartment?
What's going on with your brother?
What do you mean what's going
Well,
on?
he
My
knew where
bro-
she lived. He went to see her. Did he leave something incriminating behind?
Come on, we're dancing around a mistrial here.
He was supposed to have a date with her, but he canceled it. He knew she would have made a note of it. Evidently, she made notes for everything.
Yeah, and?
It was on a post-it on her calendar. So I took it.
You took it? You took it? Well, what were you thinking?
Well, he never went there. He canceled the date.
Oh, he canceled the date. Geez, why don't I believe that one?
Look, they broke up, okay? And I believe him.
Your trust doesn't cut it.
Paul, he didn't kill her, and I won't let you use him to create reasonable doubt.
What do you mean you're not gonna let me? You don't have any choice. You're Acosta's attorney. Your duty is to him.
I'm off the case, remember? I'm a private citizen.
Oh, well, I'd like to see you fly that one by Radovich. Because you know what he'll say? He'll say that your ethical obligations to your client carry forward.
He was my client for 5 minutes. I'm not the attorney of record. I'm not even on the payroll. I'll take my chances.
Did you know your brother lied about the Zach Wiley killing? Yeah. He stole the gun they planted on the suspect. Did he ever tell you about that little detail? Why didn't you tell us about your appointment with Brittany that night?
Espéranos allá afuera. Por favor.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The note on Brittany's calendar, Acosta, 4:30 p.m., January 15th.
Why would I go there when she set me up?
I'll tell you what the prosecution will say. They will say you went there to convince her not to testify.
Let me just give you a little preview of what's going to happen, Judge.
See, Klein's gonna decorate the courtroom with Acosta, 4:30 p.m., January 15th. And see, I don't have any witnesses to prove you were anywhere else.
That note doesn't prove anything.
You owe me the truth.
I don't owe you anything. If you don't think I'm innocent, withdraw.
The state will prove that this terrible murder was committed by the defendant, a judicial officer sworn to uphold the law. But we will show that he betrayed that oath of office. In fact, we will demonstrate beyond a reasonable doubt that this murder was intended to obstruct the very ends of justice that we entrusted him to protect. We are all his victims. Beneath the smashed coffee table, spattered with her blood, were a pair of eyeglasses. We will present evidence that will link those glasses unequivocally to the defendant, Armando Acosta.
You said you had 4 pair of glasses. Huh? Was there another pair?
No.
Well, what was Klein talking about?
He's blowing smoke up your ass.
Why did he seem so sure?
Why don't you ask him?
Because I'm asking you.
There are no other glasses.
What other troubles have you got?
None. I was just playing a scene with myself.
Now look, I'm just coming out of the jitters and you're just going into them. This is a swell household.
Isn't it?
I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll promise to brace up if you'll go on the wagon. You're going to be an athlete.
You mean with great big muscles and everything?
Well, roughly speaking.
Gonna join the YMCA? Would you like me to go with you?
Let me talk to Gus.
Out of the truck! Hands on your head! Hands on the hood!
Great services, huh?
Yeah, we have a late delivery. Why? I go too fast? No, please, no, please! Prego, prego!
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Mr. Madriani will now present the opening statement on behalf of the defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Madam Forewoman, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, good afternoon. My name is Paul Mondriani, and it's my privilege to represent my client, Judge Armando Acosta, an esteemed and honored member of the bench for 21 years. Now, we concede the brutality of this crime, but you will find when the facts come out that my client did not commit it. His enemies call him the coconut. They say he's Mexican trying to be white. They don't want a dirt-poor Chicano rising above his origins to become a circuit court judge. And they certainly don't want him overseeing the probe of a grand jury investigation into police corruption. I submit that the evidence will prove Brittany Hill was murdered because she knew too much about police corruption. And Judge Armando Acosta was framed for that murder because he wanted to know more. Now, the state
The state would like nothing more than to convict a sitting judge. Wouldn't that be a feather in their cap? You better believe it. But the truth is, there is no evidence to convict Judge Acosta of murder. No fingerprints. No blood traces. No witnesses. No murder weapon. No confession. Nothing. Nothing. I know he's tough, firsthand. He jailed me for contempt recently. That's right. We're not friends. And we have very different legal philosophies. But we agree on one thing. We believe in justice. And I want you to live up to your responsibility as a jury and do justice. And in this case, justice demands that you see through the prosecution's charade and do not hold Judge Acosta responsible for a murder he did not commit. Thank you.
What do you know about the grand jury investigation? What kind of police corruption have they found?
You'll just have to watch it unfold in court like everyone else. Excuse me.
I watched Acosta during your opening statement. He was looking around the courtroom. It was like a hawk cruising a field for prey.
Hi.
Hey.
How did it go?
I think it went pretty well, right, Harry?
I got company.
How heavy were you into drugs in college, Mr. Madriani? Word has it you had a little problem with marijuana. If you think the judge had problems defending himself, how do you think a punk lawyer like you is going to make out? People might want to know who's trying to smear the department's good record against crime. How ugly do you want this to get?
I think I just made Gus Lano's hit list.
Klein is all about appearances, but what you see is not necessarily what you get. This is really good, by the way, for someone who doesn't know how to cook.
Chili's the only thing I know how to cook. How good an actor is Klein?
He's great with juries. Paul, I think you should lose the mustache.
What?
You heard me.
Why?
Because it doesn't look good on you. And these things matter with a jury.
I've had this mustache for a long time.
I know, and it hasn't looked good for a long time.
Yeah.
Nobody called you.
About what?
I'm sorry. We're bringing in digital to all our cable customers. Need a box to get it. Somebody's supposed to call you.
You know, I'm a little busy. It's kind of inconvenient for me today.
I can reschedule. Problem is, these boxes are on back order. If I don't do it right now, you're going to be waiting a long time to get one. Takes me 5 minutes.
Yeah, all right, come on. It's right in here. TV. I'll be right in the dining room, all right, if you need it.
Great, thanks again.
Who was that?
Cable guy, listen, you've never said anything about my mustache before.
You never asked. And while you're at it, I think you should invest in a new pair of shoes.
Come on, Katie, let's...
You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. Klein is gonna look like $1 million.
No one's gonna be looking at my shoes when I'm in court, believe me.
You've had those shoes since I've known you. What's the matter?
Did you hear that?
Get into the bedroom! Call 911! Go, go, go!
you get him?
The phone's dead.
They cut the line.
Come on, go!
Mr. Madriani, you're under arrest.
Where is it? Where's the nose candy?
Even Gus Lana wouldn't want you to be this stupid.
Check it out. Get the cuffs on.